Hi everyone, and thanks again for tuning in to Ireland's greatest mountain passes. As you can see, I'm back in my happy place, the middle of nowhere. And today I'm riding the Sally Gap, which is in County Wicklow, Ireland. Fancy a spin? Well, welcome on board everybody. As I said in the intro, we're going to ride Sally Gap today. I'll explain more about Sally Gap in a moment, but just to give you a bit of geography where we are now, we're in a little village called Roundwood. It's actually the highest village in Ireland. And, oh, look at that little pub now. Wouldn't mind spending a rainy afternoon in there. Plenty of people out and about. It's a lovely sunny day. And no doubt there'll be a few other members of the two-wheel club on this pass, as it is very popular with bikers. Foreign bikers as well. It seems to be one of those things when people come to Ireland to ride their motorbikes, Sally Gap's nearly always on their list of rides to do. So from here it's about a 20-minute journey to the actual gap, so I might as well tell you a little bit about Sally Gap. I've already said Roundwood is the highest village in Ireland. We're actually going to continue to climb, and Sally Gap every winter gets closed off to traffic with snow, because it's 1,640 feet above sea level. Now it gets extremely cold, minus temperatures quite regularly from October right through to February or March. Doesn't take to the cold too well. The same as myself, and I'm only 5'8", so poor old Sally Gap. There's a few things I want to stop and talk about along the way. There's also a bit of dronage I'd love to do as well. It's quite tricky droning here because there's a military base and there's an exclusion zone around, like a no-fly zone. However, I'm a licensed drone holder and insured and all of that, and I went onto all the maps and the charts to seek the permission through the Irish Aviation Authority to make this video, and it turns out where I actually want to fly the drone, near Loch Tay, I don't need it. If there was a military exercise on, which there's not today, they said I would have required permission, but today I'm clear. So all is good. So hopefully, if the weather stays like this, we should get some spectacular scenes from the air. I'm following Google Maps here because there are so many little offshoots to these roads. I just want to make sure I take the actual route that I set out to do. So I'll tell you a little bit. Well, do you know what I'll tell you first of all? Let's play in a little bit of drone footage over some music. I'll just give you an idea of what to expect. Situated in the Wicklow Mountains National Park is the Sally Gap. The name is a little misleading because technically it's a pass rather than a gap, and what qualifies that is that a gap is a natural separation normally between two peaks, whereas a pass is nearly always a man-made passage, which clearly the Sally Gap is. Now, if that's clear, something else which is even clearer is the unmistakable beauty in this national park, which never fails to put a grin on my face whenever I ride this on two wheels. Sally Gap is actually a crossroads. There's a load of military roads and whatever else leading up to the crossroads, and I'll explain more when we get up there. but the gap itself is actually a crossroads with a tree, from what I remember, literally in the middle of the crossroads, or at the side of the crossroads. So that is it. So I hope you're not disappointed when we get there. Of course you won't be, because you're not here just to see a crossroads. You're here to enjoy the ride, just like myself. Very windy, so I'm gonna close the visor. Hope you don't mind. Hopefully you can hear me better. Just passed a little sign for a cafe. That would be nice, but I've only just started the route, so I can't really do that. And there it is. Does look inviting. Well, if I come back down this way, we can pop in there. Actually, more, even though I'm thirsty, so is my bike. I need fuel definitely within the next half an hour. I've got 44 kilometers, but I think our end point has a petrol station there. Now, the mountain you can see on the horizon ahead of us, first of all. See, I'm clicking into geography mode now, history mode. That mountain is called Sugarloaf, and even though it looks very high, it takes about 45 minutes to climb it on foot from the car park. I've done it several times, and the view from up there is unbelievable. In fact, if you're a regular subscriber to this channel, and that segues lovely into me saying, if you're not, please become one, because I've got loads more videos and vlogs planned for this year, some great trips away as well, so all to look forward to. Anyway, so if you are a regular subscriber, there's a place up near where I live which is an hour and a half ride from here, and it's a high point up near where I live, and quite often I'd take the motorbikes out there, especially if I'm doing a sort of 3-month review or a 6-month review, and I'm looking for somewhere nice to go out and ride the bikes. And the high point up there, you can actually see this mountain which I'm talking about, the one in front of us called Sugarloaf. Well, of course you can't see it at the minute because it's blocked by trees. We're just getting to the time of year where there's going to be a lot of coaches on these roads. There's, it's a national park as well, of course. We're in the Wicklow National Park, which is beautiful. There's also a load of film studios around here. Well, I'm saying a load, there's 2 huge film studios, but very famous ones, countless films they've done. They're shooting another thing down here. I think they're still shooting it at the moment, called Vikings TV series. They do a lot of the filming for that here. So regularly you'd see all the, like I said, the big film trucks. It's all very exciting. Well, I think it is anyway. Obviously, I'm in the industry. I still get excited by stuff like that. So that's the mountain I was talking about, Sugarloaf. Today is, what day is today? It's a Wednesday. I particularly chose a weekday and not a weekend day to do this, because at this time of year the weekends will be absolutely chock-a-block with people out in these parts. I've also angled the 360 camera. If it's affecting your OCD and you want to see it straight again, let me know, but I've just sort of angled it just so you can see more of the vista out of this gap here. Somebody pointed out recently that the camera there, the 360 camera, was too prominent and in shot too much there, which is fair enough. Try to please you all. So I hope you've seen the other passes that I've done so far in this series, and I've a few more planned as well. I'm trying to bring you one a month until until the winter creeps in, really, when I can no longer go and ride the passes. I've had an amazing time making them, I really have. It's just been a wonderful excuse to go and see scenery like that, making this series. And funny enough though, most of the passes have been sort of southwest island or over the west. There was one up in Donegal, actually the one I started the series with, Glengash Pass. So it's nice to be somewhere different. Look at this already. You see, I keep saying in every video I make about the passes, I'll try not to ooh and ah as much. on this video, but I just can't help it. Now what is this I'm following? Actually I think I know what it is, I just can't remember the name, because I saw one in Spain. Foreign registration, French. Nice to see the tourists back. Not sure I'd fancy coming all the way from France on one of those though. I am gonna overtake this motorbike, because I don't want you just staring at a motorbike. Another French guy. They want to go a lot slower obviously, because it's probably the first time they've seen this. Actually, I've never been on this road myself, so Sally Gap straight ahead. 13 minutes to go until the actual pass. We're climbing nicely now, and again I can hear the well, I can't hear, I can feel the gear ratios telling me that we're on an incline. It's hardly surprising there's so many films made here, because it really is unspoiled. These are some of the Winnebagos for the filming, just as I was talking about, because that's on a private farm. I'd say the filming's happening down there. There was a lighting truck as well just before I pressed the camera into record, but you can see why. Like I say, I mean, look at that scenery there, folks. Holy jeepers, that's incredible. Take it handy here. Bus obviously doing the photograph stop, holding all the traffic up behind him. All the traffic. two cars, that's alright. Spectacular, isn't it? I've got to keep my eyes on the road, so sorry I can't keep turning my head left. Now just over the brow of the hill here is the first stop I want to make, to something called Loch Tay. Look at the people sitting there on the rock. They look extremely high up, but I'm sure they're not on the cliff edge. That's Loch Tay there. The reason I want to stop here is because apparently from the air this loch looks like a pint of Guinness. Of course it does, because we're an island. But the Guinness family have a residence, although saying that, I think they sold it last year for a ridiculous amount of money, something like 20 million. But it belonged to the Guinness family for many years, and they have a residence on the side of the lake, so that's probably something to do with why it's also called the Guinness Lake. Anyway, that is the nickname for it in Ireland, the Guinness Lake. So I'm just gonna pull over safely. I don't want to take up a full parking space because it looks like there's loads of tourists anyway. So I'll move the bike into one of these places. But let's take the drone up in the air and see if it looks like a pint of Guinness from the air. So after a bit of research, it turns out that the Guinness family who used to live here actually imported the white sand in order to make it resemble a pint of Guinness. Helped by the black turf landscape, this surely is one extravagant sign of wealth. Mind you, if you had that amount of spare cash, would you not put the sand all the way around it? The Lugala estate, as we see here, has 5,000 acres and a residence which is known to have held some of the biggest showbiz parties in Ireland. Michael Jackson, Rihanna and Barack Obama were just some of the names to have stayed here. Well, I'm still not convinced about the pint of Guinness reference, but all that talk of Guinness, yeah, I'd murder one. And on that note, folks, I'm doing something I've never done before with any of my motorbike travel vlogs, in that I'm making it a two-parter. This is because it turned out that there was too many eventualities to fit into one video, not least the emergency fuel situation I found myself in, which I fortunately recorded. Please tune in to the final part of this Sally Gap expedition next week and follow the jeopardy and also an unexpected visit to a German military graveyard. Oh, and not to mention arriving at the actual Sally Gap. Once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next week. Over and out.